Have you guys ever liked a girl, then you thought maybe she liked you too? So you confess your feelings to her and it turns out you were right, she does like you, and you guys start dating? Yeah, me neither, bro. Sounds pretty unrealistic if you ask me. So I've been watching anime for a long time, so long that a lot of the stuff that people think is weird in anime to me is just completely normal. Why are all these hot girls in love with the boring main character? Well, it's just how anime works. Isn't it weird how they all have to say the name of their attack when they use it? Nope, seems rational to me. She's 16 and her boobs are 3 times the size of her body. Does that make any sense? I've never heard a more logical sentence before in my entire life. So when I tell you that this anime is weird like nothing I've seen before, I really mean it. Today I want to tell you why our main character, Tsubaki, is trash. Mysterious Girlfriend X is a romance anime made by Hood's Entertainment. That's right, this is an official anime brought to you by the Hood. Tsubaki is a relatively average high schooler until one day a girl named Urube transfers into his class. Besides the fact that she's got the hentai haircut, she's a genuine weirdo and sleeps at school all the time. People do not rock with her. One day when class is done, Tsubaki sees her sleeping and wakes her up so she can head home. And when he does it, he sees her face for the first time and thinks, wow, this girl is pretty cute. And she gets up and walks out. Now guys, when you first find out that you might have feelings for a girl, what do? Do you A, confess your feelings on the spot? B, ignore them and act like they don't exist? C, try to know her better so you can ask her out? Or D, what Tsubaki actually did? Tsubaki realized that she had drooled on the table, so he immediately decides to put her drool in his mouth. Sorry, I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit. And after that, he got sick, but not for the reason you might think. See, after being sick for a few days, Urube comes to his house and gets him to confess to tasting her drool. There she reveals why Tsubaki actually got sick. It's because Urube gave him an ancient disease that's transmitted through her drool. They say that the Aztecs, wait, my bad, this is the wrong script, give me a sec. Here it is. It's because he's lovesick. That doesn't make sense either. Apparently Urube's drool is special, and Tsubaki's sick because he's suffering withdrawal from not having a drool in a while because of the drool of the person he loves, and he fell in love with her when he saw her face. And if that sounds weird, it is. But it's not even the craziest part about her drool, but we'll get to that. So every day they meet up after school, and she sucks on her finger, which he then sucks on so he won't suffer from withdrawal and get sick. But he hasn't made this whole process is sick. And after a while of doing this, Tsubaki confesses to her and the two start dating. The rest of the show is about them learning about each other and trying to work on their relationship. Now that you know what the story is about, we can talk about what really matters. And what really matters is that Tsubaki is a terrible boyfriend and person. Bro, if I wrote this series, I would call it Terrible Boyfriend X, because he's a terrible boyfriend and he should be an X to her. Very clever, I know, thank you. Thank you, you're all too kind. What I just told about how they started dating was just in episode 1. We got 12 more episodes and about half of them were about Tsubaki doing stupid shit. But in all fairness to Tsubaki, who isn't immediately terrible, his girlfriend is pretty bizarre. It makes sense he doesn't know how to act at the start. Even though they started dating, he doesn't really know much about Urube and he struggles to connect with her despite his efforts because she's so unapologetically antisocial. At one point, Tsubaki tried to hold hands with her and she gets weird about like, why do you try and hold my hand? And he's like, I thought it'd be nice because we're dating. And she's like, I'm not holding your hand, that shit's gay. And she walks off into the sunset. When she was new at school, 3 girls woke her up at lunch and asked if she wanted to have lunch with them. And she basically told them to fuck off and immediately went back to sleep. She's not even shy about it. She confidently said, fuck off. Also, there's more to her drool than just the love sickness. Like, if Tsubaki tastes her drool, he will feel whatever she's feeling at the time. Is she happy, sad, tired, aroused, injured? He'll feel it all. Especially aroused because it's one of these anime. Every now and then Tsubaki would ask her a question, and instead of her answering this question with words, she'd constantly default to, just taste my drool and you'll know the answer. She can also make him dream about specific things if she wants through her drool, but I don't even know how to explain the dream aspect of this, so I'm just not gonna explain it. Also, she keeps scissors in her underwear. Like, all the time. And she doesn't even explain, like, he asked her, why do you keep scissors in your underwear? And she's like, I mean, why not? In spite of all her weirdness, he learns quick enough how to connect with her. And they have a pretty nice relationship. For a time. But now we can get into the real problem, and that's why Tsubaki is trash. I got 3 main cases against Tsubaki, but for now, we'll start off with an honorable mention. I call it the first red flag. The first red flag for me was when he tried to grope his girlfriend. Alright, fine, hug her randomly. And after the first time, she pulled out the panty scissors and says don't do that without asking permission. Was it a bit of an overreaction to pull scissors on him? They were already dating, and she could have just told him no. Which is what I first thought, but then he tries to do it like 3 other times, and he doesn't seem to get the message. We even flash back to him in middle school, about to grope his crush at the time, before he decided against it. He does not respect boundaries. But on to our major points. Our first one is that Tsubaki is possessive. One day at school, Urube's friend does her hair, which shows off her face, and a lot of the guys start giving Urube attention because they didn't know she was this cute, and Tsubaki doesn't like that. And it's not even for a reason like, oh, he's insecure, she'll leave him for someone else. That scenario already happened, and she proved her loyalty to him. He wants her to change her hair because he just doesn't like other guys thinking she's cute, and he wants to keep her all to himself. And not only does he think this, but he told her this so she would change her hair back. But to be fair, she had very little problem in doing this, and Urube did something possessive back to compensate. One of their classmates was selling the other boys pictures of Urube he took in secret when she had her new hairstyle, and the main character doesn't like this one bit. Which none of you should either. It's hella weird to sell pictures of your female classmates. From that combo, he finds out that there's an idol who looks just like Urube, so he goes out and buys a photo magazine of her. And when he gets caught with the magazine, Urube says she wants to see it. He tells Urube the only reason he likes his idol is because she looks like her. So she rips his magazine to shreds, talking about, if you got me, you don't need her. And that made me see that they both have a little bit of possessiveness over each other. But we got Tsubaki buying another one of those magazines with the same idol, talking about how he's gonna hide it from his girlfriend. Even though she keeps her hair the way he wanted, he doesn't do like she wants and ditches porn. I mean, it's not porn, but like, I don't know what to call this book. He likes to be possessive of her, but he doesn't like it the other way around. Point 2 is an event that happened. Let me tell you a tale. You see, one day, Tsubaki had the urge to touch his girlfriend's boobs after he dreamt of it. But it wasn't a school day, and he didn't know where she lived, and he knew she would never go for it. So he was just frustrated knowing it couldn't happen. It was tearing him up, and not knowing what to do, he just kind of searches for Urube and where he thinks her neighborhood is, but not actually sure what he's gonna do if he finds her. But he does find her house, and she invites him in. There she trips and falls on his lap, and he's like, now's my chance. And he tries to grope her, but she's like, hey, yo! And pulls the scissors on him. And I'd love to just be like, it's attempted sexual assault, put that man in jail, but he's actually just honest with her about how he feels and says he wants to touch her boobs, and she understands his feelings and lets him touch her boob. Everyone's happy. This was a solid W for Tsubaki. But he took that shit too far. He didn't want to stop, so he forced himself on top of her, and she's reaching for the slippers to stab him because, you know, he's trifling. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna do something far worse. I mean, far worse. But anyway, he's just licking her ear. He's not even groping on him, he's just licking her ear. But when he starts, she drops the scissors and starts tearing up. Tsubaki, realizing this, stops his attempted... Anyway, he starts thinking, what am I doing? I'm such a piece of shit. He apologizes, goes home and feels terrible. Then goes to school and feels terrible because he made his girlfriend cry. Then he apologizes again. But when we think about it, is he really that bad a guy? He was struggling with the whole boob thing and trying to show self-restraint the whole day. And when he found Urube, he tried to leave before she invited him up and spent so long beating himself up over the 30 seconds that happened because he knew it was wrong. So was he really that bad? Yes. 30 seconds of assault is still assault. They should put this man on a watch list. Hashtag Tsubaki is over party. This was a great character development moment. Or it would have been, but his girlfriend's a freak. Apparently what happened that day before unlocked a fetish for Urube, ear play, or I don't know much about fetishes, I don't know what to call it. She likes it when he touches her ear. And she wasn't crying before. She just tears up when he touches her ear, which she's into. This man was so close to getting dumped and catching a case, but he got lucky with the ear fetish, and his relationship is now stronger than it ever was. So, mission passed. For point 3, we're down to the final set of events that make me say Tsubaki is trash. It all centers around the girl he had a crush on in middle school, Hayakawa. One day he's out and about and randomly meets her, so they start catching up, talking about the past, nothing crazy, but she asks him if he has a girlfriend, and he just straight up lies. Him and Urube's relationship is a secret from everyone at school, but she doesn't go to their school, and if you're thinking, oh, he's just being safe by keeping it a secret from everyone, he tells her about his best friend who also has a secret girlfriend at their school, which he promised he wouldn't tell anyone about. Man, this man's a bad boyfriend and a bad friend. And if your girl found out that you were hanging out with your ex and lied about dating them, they'd feel a type of way about it. Anyway, Hayakawa gets into this sad story about how her and her boyfriend broke up, and she starts crying and drooling, which reminds him of Urube, and he's like, damn, that's kinda hard. And she basically asks him if they can start hanging out. You know, one of those casual, I'm not calling it a date, but it's probably a date. And he says yes, but he gives a condition, which is reasonable since he has a girlfriend. He can't just go out dating another girl. Is it A, something logical, B, what he actually did? He says he'll only do it if he gets to taste her drool. What the fuck, bro? I know this isn't in the universal book of cheating, but drool is like his whole thing with Urabe, and he wants to taste the drool of another girl. But luckily, he realizes that would be a betrayal and doesn't do it, so he calls the whole thing off. But I'm not gonna lie, he got hella close. He got really close to doing it. And that would be the end of it, but this girl is more devious than that. She makes up this fake story about how her ex-boyfriend is abusing her and wants her back, so she tells the main character that if he went to her school festival with her and pretend to be her boyfriend, her ex would realize that she's moved on and not abuse her anymore. He doesn't really think that idea makes sense, because it doesn't honestly, but she presses Tsubaki into it, and Tsubaki is keeping this whole thing secret from Urabe, and lies about what he's doing the day of the festival. I'm not saying you can never lie in a relationship, but you better not lie about spending time with your ex, because if you get caught, some shit will go down. So Tsubaki gets caught, and some shit went down. This girl actually went to Urabe and told her that they were going to be at the festival together as a ploy so Urabe would see them together and catch him in the lie. She's doing all this just so Tsubaki will go out with her. But Urabe, being the weirdo that she is, claims her and Tsubaki are meant to be together because of the bond of their drool. They agree to have Tsubaki taste both their drool and see how he reacts. So they both get naked because they are high school girls in an anime and this makes sense for some reason. But before Tsubaki tastes Hayakawa's drool, she realizes she's defeated. So she basically got naked for no reason. Not that I'm complaining, you know what I'm saying? Oh no. So they all patch things up. Tsubaki apologizes to Urabe for his foolishness for like the 10th time this anime, and she forgives him and they don't break up. This concludes the tale of Tsubaki, the worst boyfriend in anime history. Well, worse if you don't include him, or like 20 other characters probably. Alright, fine, you got me. Tsubaki isn't the worst boyfriend in anime history. I'm just jealous because he has wronged his girlfriend on multiple occasions and she has always forgiven him. But as for my girlfriend, she doesn't exist.